Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
Now on News 6, we're tracking sometimes strong rain and Tropical Storm Erin. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas pinpoints what you can expect.
I asked her, I said, my kid didn't get off the bus. Where's my kid? And she said, well, who's your kid?
That mom was frantic when her son, who has special needs, didn't get off the bus.
They let me off. They didn't say anything. I just got off. And I just waited until Mom came.
How this mix-up happened and why it took 30 minutes to reunite Mom and son.
I think now, looking forward, we're actually going to get back to being a law enforcement agency, and I can stop policing the police.
Only on News 6, Osceola's new sheriff says more members of his department will likely face charges, what his team is digging into as they clean house. And all new at 10, a debate over spending your tax dollars. One property is seeking millions more on his budget, while one county commissioner calls it unprecedented. But we start now at 10 with a crazy crane collapse.
Guest bathroom gone.
All the trusses are broke. The ceiling is down on the floor. The crane is in my house.
They watched as that crane toppled on top of their home. Water's been cut through the neighborhood. What caused this mess and why it'll take all night and beyond to clean it up? Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Matt Austin. Ginger has the night off. Well, dozens of homes still without water in Merritt Island tonight. Probably will be all night. Hours after a crane trying to put up a telephone pole ended up crushing an unmarked water line. News 6 reporter Jarrell Baker is in the neighborhood, joins us live to tell us more. Jarrell, the homeowners can't be happy about this.
Yeah, you're right, Matt. They are not happy. As of several people here in the community, there's about 80 homes that were impacted and are still without water. I'm going to step out the way here. You can see that they actually brought some extra cranes, and they were doing some cutting earlier, trying to separate the boom from the truck and trying to lift and get it out of here. Either way, a lot of residents in the area are just hoping that this gets done at least by tomorrow.
My house is destroyed. We've been in the house for 40 years. I raised my entire family in that house. All my kids grew up there.
Jim and Amanda Crane aren't the only ones still stunned to see a crane toppled onto their Merritt Island home. Their friend Rich Civitat says their kids grew up playing together.
The homeowner's not very happy because, he takes a lot of pride in his house. It's a nice house, and he's been working on it all along.
Big Iron International says their experienced crane operator did what he was supposed to do and check for utility lines before setting up. But the crane ended up on top of an unmarked water line. The weight of the crane crushed the pipe, spewing out and softening the ground, causing the crane to topple over. That's why water is shut off to much of the neighborhood.
Pretty much everybody in Surfside, this development here, is out of water. And like I said, we can't be flushing toilets, we're not drinking water, we're not showering, and that kind of stuff.
There was no advance warning on. The only advance warning I had was some neighbor who actually I think was an eyewitness to the thing, who said he expected us to lose water pressure, and he was right.
According to the city of Cocoa, they have a crew on standby, but they can't start work until the crane is removed.
I mean, how do you not disclose a water line? I'm sure the power company will be pointing fingers at the water company will be pointing fingers at the power company.
And as you can see, they are still hard at work trying to figure this out and how they're going to get this out of there. Now, they said that the plan was, according to city officials, was trying to get the boom, which is the arm that extends and pick up things. They're trying to separate that and get that out first, then the truck. And once they move the truck, that's when crews can go in and actually access that water line. We'll tell you a little bit more when things come available here in Merritt Island. Jarrell Baker, News 6.
Jarrell, thank you. Be among the first to get updates on breaking news stories like this one by downloading our free News 6 app and turning on breaking news alerts. Just search WKMG in your app store. While it is nothing to be scared of just yet, we know many of you keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Erin, very far away tonight, and we'll have the latest projected path in a moment. But we are seeing some showers and storms lingering late. Some of them have been pretty intense. Let's get you over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas.
Yeah, things much quieter now. About 2 hours ago, we had a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Orange and Seminole County. That faded quickly, drifted back off to the north and east, and just about 15 minutes ago, we still had some lightning through the I-4 corridor. Watch how fast that came back down. And now just a couple of stray downpours embedded in some lighter rain closer to Altamont Springs and back into Sanford. Daytona Beach, we had that thunderstorm working up the I-4 and towards the Daytona International Speedway. That now just a light shower. Latest on Erin, it's certainly looking the healthiest it has looked. Now, this is going to be a couple of things in play. As it gets stronger, it's going to have that opportunity to start lifting further north, so we actually like that it's going to start getting stronger, but that flare-up of thunderstorms here indicates that it's starting to find, for the first time, a pretty favorable environment. That was the forecast, and it will continue to get even more favorable. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll show you the latest track, of course, relating for the fresh advisory. That's going to be at the top of the 11 o'clock news. We'll talk about that coming up in about 15 minutes, Matt.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, imagine this. You're waiting for your kid after school at the bus stop. Bus pulls up, but your child does not get off. It's one of those scenarios described as a parent's worst nightmare. But one of our neighbors in Osceola County actually lived this. News 6's Mike Valenti spoke to the mom of that child with special needs.
This is the bus stop that 9-year-old Noah Johnson Richardson was supposed to get off at Tuesday, but he did not. And now the Osceola County School District is investigating what happened and why.
I asked her, I said, my kid didn't get off the bus. Where's my kid? And she said, well, who's your kid? And I said, Noah Johnson Richardson. And she said, he probably got off at the other stop. I was not aware that there was another stop.
The other stop where LaQuisha Johnson's son was dropped off was about 10 minutes away. And what you just heard is a conversation she claims she had with the bus attendant when LaQuisha noticed the doors were closing without Noah stepping off the bus.
That attendant didn't even know who my kid was.
His second day at a new school, Noah comes with an IEP, or Individualized Education Program, and he requires certain accommodations, like having a bus aide ensure he gets off at the right stop. But Noah says when he saw kids get off at a stop he recognized as his neighborhood, he followed.
They let me off. They didn't say anything. I just got off, and I just waited until Mom came.
LaQuisha says about 30 minutes went by before she was reunited with Noah, with the help from law enforcement and other concerned parents. The district has since removed the attendant from that route. The district spokesperson says the district is taking this investigation very seriously, and that a member of the district leadership team, as well as someone from the transportation department, spoke to LaQuisha Johnson. Now, pending the outcome of the investigation, the district spokesperson adds, we will take necessary actions and make any changes needed to further ensure student safety. In Osceola County, Mike Valenti, News 6.
New at 10 tonight, a tale of two counties in a week where government spending is really in the spotlight. In Orange, Florida DOJ has been digging into Orlando's finances since Monday. Their leader says governments are just spending too much. So it may surprise you to hear even more spending could be happening in Lake County. The man who decides how much your home is worth wants more than $1 million a year tacked onto his budget. The property appraiser says it's the only way to keep up with the booming growth. But one county commissioner there, to our Lake County community correspondent Emily McLeod, said the request is unprecedented.
Just like all of Central Florida, Lake County is growing and fast. That growth is just one reason why the county's property appraiser, Mark Jordan, says his request for a bigger budget is justified. However, Lake County Commissioner Anthony Sabatini is not holding back when it comes to his criticism of the request. Lake County property appraiser Mark Jordan is requesting another $1.2 million on top of a current budget just shy of $5 million. But why?
It's significant growth that's the issue here, and that budget simply can't keep up with that.
Jordan says his current budget is lower than other Florida counties about the same size as Lake. The increased budget would be used in part to fund more jobs within the department.
This would be our first IT person, which is, we're beyond the adolescent stages, so we certainly need staff like that. There's additional field appraisers, an additional commercial appraiser. We only have one commercial appraiser. with nearly 15,000 commercial parcels.
But Lake County Commissioner Anthony Sabatini blasts the request as unprecedented.
We've never seen any constitutional officer ever ask for this much money, and to do this at a time in which the entire theme of the Republican Party of Florida and our leadership in Tallahassee is to reduce spending is almost comical.
Do you think there is any room to expand the property appraiser's office at some point? I mean, Lake County has experienced a ton of growth. I mean, even just in the last 5 years.
Absolutely. I think something like a 2, 3, 4, or 5, or 6% budget increase makes sense, really, if you look at inflation. So, you know, 6, 7, 8%. If you would have came in somewhere around like maybe 8%, I would have probably scrutinized it but possibly considered supporting it. Coming in at 28% is clearly just shenanigans.
Jordan expects the State Department of Revenue to decide just how much his office deserves in a couple of days. After that, the county or Jordan could appeal. Reporting in the newsroom, I'm your Lake County community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
Only on 6 now, Osceola County's interim sheriff reveals he expects more charges for people working in his own office. It comes 2 weeks after 2 Osceola County Sheriff's employees were arrested, and as the former sheriff faces criminal charges. The sheriff sat down with community correspondent Laverne McGee.
It's been very intense for the last 10 weeks to go through this place with a fine-tooth comb.
10 weeks ago was when Osceola County Sheriff Chris Blackman was appointed after former Sheriff Marcos Lopez was removed on racketeering charges. Since then, Blackman says he's been trying to clean up a mess, and that meant 2 of his employees, including a deputy, were arrested just 2 weeks ago.
What is the follow-up to that? And do you see any more changes like that coming?
We're digging. I had the internal affairs section go through everything for the last 4 years and 5 months, which was under the Lopez administration, and had them brief me out on every case that they thought I needed to know about. And they brought me a stack. We've looked at that. There's some additional stuff from there that we've discovered since then that we're going to make some more charges on some more people.
Would those people be deputies?
Could be. Could be civilians. I don't want to go into that, but yes.
Aside from cleaning house, there are positions to fill. The office currently has 42 vacancies.
I think now, looking forward, we're actually going to get back to being a law enforcement agency, and I can stop policing the police.
Your Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee, News 6.
It is official, bear hunting is coming back to Florida, but not before a colorful debate between opponents dressed in black and supporters in orange.
Appreciate y'all, appreciate the time, and support the bear hunt.
People say our yards, but bears were here on this land first.
Ahead on News 6, how the bear hunt will work this December and why it may be much more limited than many had hoped.
Rodents chewing through engines are leading to costly repairs and frustration for drivers.
Something needs to be done. This is just not appropriate.
One woman struggled to get her new truck fixed reveals a larger problem. I'm News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden. I'll have the story tonight on News 6.
You're watching News 6 at 10, live on a Wednesday night. We're covering Heathrow, Kissimmee, and all of Central Florida. Well, now on News 6, everybody who drives should hear this. Apparently, rodents are chewing through engine parts. One woman's frustrations with costly repairs uncovered a bigger problem: warranty limitations and insurance hurdles. News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden shows us what you need to know to protect your car and your money.
And this has to be maintained all the time. It's hideous. New truck, all this mess in it.
It's now a daily routine for Christine Moss, spraying rodent repellent under the hood of her 2023 Ford F-150, along with rat poison and mothballs.
The mothballs are down beside the battery.
After she says rodents chewed through her wiring and almost everything under the hood.
We had fuel pump, we had all our pumps, all our filters, everything was eaten through.
She says when she started the vehicle, she immediately knew there was a problem.
I heard this bang, 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 and the car was stuttering like it didn't want to go. So the air went off, all the systems started going down, dashboard lit up.
Under warranty, Christine thought the dealership would handle it, but she was told rodent damage isn't covered. She says what followed was weeks of frustration between the dealership and her insurance company, leaving her without a vehicle for a month.
Something needs to be done. This is just not appropriate. All these new vehicles have this wiring.
The wiring in many newer vehicles is made with soy-based materials that some believe attract rodents. It's cheaper and environmentally friendly, but it can also be a magnet for damage. The total cost for Moss's repairs, more than $6,000. Insurance eventually covered it, but she still had to pay her $1,000 deductible.
That's not okay.
Moss isn't alone. News 6 has learned in the past both Toyota and Honda were hit with class action lawsuits due to masses of angry customers who had to pay for rodent repairs. But the lawsuits were eventually dismissed, some because it couldn't be proven the soy is what was attracting the animals. The car maker still used the wiring.
Well, the soy itself is what attracts them, and they can pick up the scent.
Steve Alfieri is the general manager at Russell Automotive in Apopka.
And there's many times we've opened hoods and found actual living animals under the hood, but with babies in the nest.
He says any vehicle parked outside for an extended period of time is susceptible to animals getting under the hood, whether you have soy wiring or not.
They don't necessarily go after the wires. They go after the hard plastics. They eat the hood insulation down to make nests.
Alfieri showed us an example of bite marks on insulation under the hood. Meantime, owners like Moss are left to fight for coverage while protecting their vehicles.
It's an added expense, and it's up to me, the vehicle owner, to protect myself.
Especially if you park outside, be aware rodent damage is real and costly. Check your vehicle regularly and talk to your insurance about coverage options. I'm Lewis Bolden, News 6.
Well, after months of protests and hours of debate, Florida is getting a bear hunt. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission voted unanimously to bring the hunt back today. Here's a breakdown of how it will work. A divided room.
I feel like we need to learn how to live with what we have and take care of it.
Those opposed to the hunt mostly in black T-shirts, while those in favor in vivid orange.
I appreciate y'all, appreciate the time, and, support the bear hunt.
Each side took the microphone to make its case.
People say our yards, but bears were here on this land first and driven out due to overgrowth in human population and development.
Bear population has rebounded to levels that can sustainably support a regulated hunt.
That population was at 3,500 when Florida carried out its last hunt in 2015. Today, the bear population's estimated to be closer to 4,000. On Wednesday, a unanimous Fish and Wildlife Commission voted to allow a 23-day hunt to take place in December, with the commission capping the hunt at 187 bears, far fewer than the 298 that were killed in just 2 days back in 2015. But the hunt itself wasn't the only point of contention. How the bears will be hunted was also up for debate.
We ask you to please bring back traditional hunting with hounds for bears, and I support the bear hunt.
I care a lot about Florida's black bears, and I don't think we should hunt them. But if we have to, it should be done in the most humane way possible. That means no arrows and no dogs.
In the end, the commission signed off on bow hunting, but held off on the use of dogs for now, with the commission approving dogs in 2027 if there's another hunt. So under the plan approved today, the state will be divided into 4 hunting areas, with Central Florida limited to 18 bears in a 12-county area. All right, let's check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. Jonathan, radar's looking pretty clear tonight.
Yeah, like just about an hour ago it was lit up. 2 hours ago we had some really intense thunderstorms right along the I-4 corridor. We're nice and quiet now, just a couple of lingering downpours sliding up the I-4 corridor tonight. We're nice and quiet in Rockledge, Titusville, Daytona Beach. If you have the News 6 weather app, it's a free download. Again, you got those alerts on your phone if you were in the area of the thunderstorm warning that was in parts of southern Seminole, northern Orange County. Rest of the night, just those stray showers fading this evening. Overnight tonight, we're going to be on the drier side. Do be on the lookout for a few stray downpours right along the I-75 corridor. That's 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. We're going to shift our wind direction out of the Gulf tomorrow, and that's going to help to get some thunderstorms going early. There's the motion of these storms. So here we go at 5 o'clock, right around I-4. Then those will try to drift pretty much right up and down the steering flow tomorrow, very similar to what it was tonight. So the storms aren't going to be moving much. Here's a live look in Daytona Beach right now. All is quiet. We had some storms around earlier tonight, watching some really dark clouds during the 5 and 6 o'clock news. There's 79 degrees right now at the airport. The breeze out of the south-southwest, already that south-southwesterly component to help again try to push in a few downpours along I-75 tomorrow. We're at 88 in Titusville, Cocoa Beach. Good evening. We're at 86, Mico at 84. We're at 79 degrees again in Daytona Beach, a degree warmer just up the road in Palm Coast. Tomorrow, warmer day, back to the mid-90s. Rain chances, as you saw, not that widespread. We're hanging around a 40% shot for thunderstorms. Latest on Aaron is a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm. It is getting itself into a better environment for development. You see some of these jagged white clouds sliding through. That's some of the outflow. It's a signal to us that the storm is trying to breathe a little bit, not to mention the big bright orange and purple and pink color there in the middle. That's the colder thunderstorms, the colder cloud tops, indicating some taller thunderstorms in the mix on the infrared satellite channel, also indicating that it's strengthening. Now we're waiting for the latest track from the National Hurricane Center. Not much has changed since these first advisories have come out from the Hurricane Center. Watching for our friends in the Northeast Caribbean. It could skirt the Northeast Caribbean as it strengthens into a hurricane and likely at least a major hurricane or into a major hurricane. You see by Monday afternoon, 2 o'clock, 120 mile per hour, Category 3 storm. The good news is you see the bend here from the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. Here we are in Florida. Looks okay right now. Again, there's no indication from any kind of scientific model here that anything is going to be working its way toward Florida. Now, big swells, rip currents, that's a given with this, as it's going to pass likely in between Bermuda and the eastern seaboard. Watching it closely, I'm not taking my eye off it by any means, but there's nothing to suggest that thing is going to make a beeline west, and obviously that's a good thing. 40% shot for storms over the next couple of days. We'll keep that right through the start of your weekend. Temperatures into the mid-90s next week, Matt.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. There's a new food hall in Ivanhoe Village. It just opened up a few months ago. Last week, I got a sample to show you some of the must-haves. I didn't get to everything in one meal. See what else I tried out next on this week's I-4 Food Tour. Maybe I'll just try one blind. Chasing my food. Last week at the food hall, I tried a triple burger and a delicious egg sandwich. This week, let's give me some blessed belly and tanto pasta.
But before we get to that food, let's check out some RVs from our sponsor, Giant Recreation World.
We're gonna go to the Birria Quesadilla. Yes. So we have that incredible Birria sauce. We've already doused it in lime. This meat's been cooking forever. Okay. That's delicious. This is a different kind of cheese in here than you would normally get with a burrito taco. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Come on, dude. Come on. What are we doing here? Give it a little dipper. Get up close to that guy. That's good. That's really good. You gotta try that. Let's just finish it off with some pasta. Huh? Anybody else a sucker for pesto? I am. We're gonna get a little bit of that burrata. Burrata's kind of like an egg. You almost crack it open and the good stuff comes out. A little tomato. Oh, I feel like I just got kicked in the face with flavor. That's delicious. Let me get more of that. Look at this. Just fresh burrata. Oh, that hits. As my teenage daughter would say, that slaps. And she's gonna kill me for saying that. Okay, so I have come, I think I've eaten everything inside. We've had an amazing burger, incredible tacos and quesadilla, crazy pasta. I had breakfast, all so good. If I am picking one thing you have to come here and try, Birria Quesadilla, dude, all day. That thing was insane. The fact that you could come in here, order that, and in like 5 minutes you could be eating that is stupid. City Food Hall, I-4 Food Tour.
Sponsored by Giant Recreation World. Visit Giant Recreation World today.
Hey, you can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus. It's free to download to your smart TV or your streaming device. Have a great night.